Hello, everyone. I'm Vince Moya from This Is Real TV. We're going to be talking about a beautiful new platform within an actors community that we are working on as a production company called the Actors Garage. And we're super excited because now more than ever do us artists have to stick together at a time like this, that there still is hope, and we're all going to get through this together. And what better way to build a platform to help artists become better artists and learn from each other. So we are super excited. Without further ado, super excited today to have a guest on our show. She's a very, very talented artist. She's going to tell us all about herself. So I'm just going to introduce her, Samantha Spatari. Welcome to the Actors Garage. Thank you so much for coming in on the call.
Oh, I'm so excited, Vince. We've known each other for a while, so thank you so much for having me.
Awesome.
As well.
Awesome. So, Samantha, just tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what you're currently doing as an artist.
Oh, like every artist, I feel like we're just kind of doing nothing right now. But yeah, no, a bit about myself. I've been acting for the past 10 years, both in Toronto and Vancouver. I've been mostly focusing more on film and television, though I grew up in the theater. And yeah, some of the stuff that I worked on recently in Toronto is I've been producing my own projects with my roommate and also best friend, Mark, who is a director and writer. So we've been working on our own scripts because sometimes when there's not enough stories out there for you, you got to create your own work.
Absolutely, Samantha. That's it's so important not to sit back. And I couldn't agree with you more, because I was plateaued at a certain point in my life as well, waiting for the auditions to come in, and that's what kind of fueled me to get out there and start taking a chance, I guess, because everybody's always afraid, and it's the fear factor of, is it ever going to be good enough, and could I do it? Well, the only way to do it is to do it, right? To go out there and fall and get right back up and keep getting your butt kicked until it works.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I've met so many wonderful people over the course of the last few years, and sometimes it just clicks with some people and they just are able to get in, and then sometimes it takes 20 years to build a career, and if you really love it, you're just going to have to go through the ups and downs of it, like in any type of career, I guess. It's very competitive. You get a lot of no's more than yeses. It's just, actually, I just heard a really great casting director in Toronto, Larissa Mayer, and she spoke about her favorite word, which is be fearless. And
I like it.
I think that's what we need to start doing more in the industry. Actors, creators, be fearless.
Perfect. That's good. So what's the latest project that you worked on? Tell us.
Yeah, the latest one I've done was Mark and we were kind of going through this weird, I had just moved back to Toronto. We weren't really like doing anything. I had just got an agent, was just starting to get my feelers out there in the Toronto market. And so we wrote a comedy. It was a short film called Far From Exceptional. Mark wrote it and directed it, and I produced and starred in it along with my castmate Josh Folke, who's from Orphan Black. And we were like, Josh, we want to work with you. Come on, let's work together. And he said yes. And we had a great team that came out, and everybody volunteered their time because we had no budget. And we just kind of threw it together and in 2 weeks from start to finish. And it already got into a festival, which we went to before all this happened. It was my last little traveling I got to do. I went to Louisiana at the beginning of this year.
That's amazing.
To represent the film, and it was fun. I love touring the film festivals. So a great way to meet people as well.
Absolutely. Samantha, I'm going to get Andrea in on this conversation very soon to talk about what this platform is all about. But to just have one more question, just so then, people get familiar with myself and Andrea. So we're totally not complete strangers, and coming from you that you've worked with me in the past, and Andrea, just tell everyone how your experience was on one of the plays that you and I had done in the past. And be honest.
Terrible. Oh, don't worry. No, I'm joking. These two are These two are the hardest working people I've ever met. They are go-getters. They create their own work. Very funny work too. We worked, well, when I met Vince back 2012, 2013 when we did the Italian Virgin, and it was phenomenal. The way that he got people to come together, the way everything was put together, the final product, everything was amazing. And you'll never meet these two more dedicated directors, writers, producers in this industry, really working on what they want to do and creating work for themselves. So yeah, it's always
Thank you, Samantha. That was very nice, honest. Thank you so much. That's amazing.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm going to get Andrea on this. Andrea's going to tell us what we're working on right now, Samantha. And Andrea, it's all yours.
Thank you, Vince, and thank you, Samantha. Well, with the Actors Garage, the main thing we're trying to do is obviously connect with people, kind of get people that are like-minded, such as yourself, that are out there doing their own thing, trying to get into the industry in their own way. We all know the challenges associated with the industry. The other thing too, we want to make clear with what we're doing is like there's no hidden agenda. We're not expecting anything from anyone other than just to be yourself and your good nature and sharing your experiences pretty much. So the main thing I kind of wanted to get into, because I'm very interested just in your personal experience, because I think everybody has something to offer. Like obviously we'd all like to be working on like multi-million-dollar productions and whatnot, right? But we all got to start somewhere. And, you know, as artists, sometimes you kind of it's hard to walk that line. And I know Vince was very kind of open in explaining to me that you kind of pursued things, and at one point you went to British Columbia. Is that correct?
Yeah. I don't know. It was just a change of pace. I think I just needed a fresh start in the industry, just a fresh start in life. So my partner at the time and I had moved out to BC, where kind of just on a whim, it was just like, let's pack up, move. And it was great. It was a great experience in the sense that I got to see how that industry was out there. And I think it made me realize that Toronto is just more of an industry for me in terms of the projects that I want to do. I think as you grow as an artist, you just start to realize where you fit in the picture. And sometimes it might not be the way that you want to get in, but it might just be the start. So for my partner, he does a lot of CW and Hallmark, and he loves that industry, and he was doing a lot more stuff out there in BC, whereas I love independent film and a bit more of the grit, which I thought was a bit more catered towards the Toronto industry. So it's just finding out where you fit. But honestly, BC gave me my start. I got on a TV show out there, and that's how I kind of started finding my way throughout the film and television industry.
Awesome.
That's great. That was like exactly sort of the thing we were going for. And I don't mean to put you in an awkward position, but I kind of want to poke and pry a little bit, but you
Do
tell
it.
me if I go too far. If you had to do that all over again, because I know you said it was a good experience and whatnot, knowing what you know now, I know everything in hindsight, 2020, whatever. But if you had to do that all over again, would you do it again, or would you maybe have stayed in Toronto and pursued it in that manner?
I don't regret anything. Do I? That's such an interesting question. I've been asked that many times, to be honest, since I've gotten back to Toronto. I think moving out there made me grow as a person. I think it was just to go out there by myself and really learn everything about the industry by myself. Helped start a business out there, ran a company, met a lot of actors. No, I don't regret it. I would never change anything. I think it's good to get out there, get exposed, meet new people. Like, this industry is all about meeting people, making connections, and the more you make, it just helps you. I made a lot of connections out of BC that I would have never met in Toronto. So I don't think it was a waste of time. I think it was a great experience. It made me realize that I wanted to be in Toronto.
You were fearless, Samantha. Be fearless.
Yes.
That's what it was.
I was fearless for a few years.
It is scary to be alone, that's for sure. So
big time.
conquer your fears is a big thing. Yeah, congrats on that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with it, like to kind of to continue in that line, because I always like to think that like a negative experience could be just as valuable. And I'm not saying that that was a negative experience, but it kind of leads into my next question: is were there any, or are there any negative experiences that you've had as an actor, editor, producer, whatever it might be, that allowed you to sort of understand maybe where you wanted to be? Because I think that's what a lot of actors struggle with, is that fear of rejection, that fear of going to BC and taking that risk. So what, kind of continue with that, like what experiences, even if they weren't good, right? And you don't have to get into detail, but I'd like to kind of hear what you can offer other, you know, young actors, whether they be male or female, you know, how that may impact their life in general.
Yeah, okay. What I want to say is, first off, what I want to say is that I want to encourage everybody to follow their dream. And if this is something that you really want, just go for it. Life's short. Do it. With that being said, it's a lot of work. I think my biggest mistake going into acting when I was, I don't know, I think I started when I was 15 in this industry, not really knowing, no one in my family has ever done this before. First artist, I think you guys understand a little bit about that. Is that there's a lot of risks involved in this industry. It's not always going to work out really easily. And there's a lot of rejection, like you were saying. And you got to get over it. You have to just grow some thick skin and just know that there's going to be 1,000 no's and maybe one yes. And it doesn't mean that you're a bad actor, or there's so many factors. And that's what I learned about going out into BC. There's so many factors in the casting process that factor into why they cast someone. And it most likely has nothing to do with your talent. It could just easily be as something as simple as, oh, we just went with someone older or someone younger. You start to realize these things. I think the negative aspect is always going to be the way of how you think of yourself. I think you can get negative in the sense of getting very negative towards your own self and not being happy with how the industry is going and really getting down on yourself. So I always try to, like, for me, that was really hard moving out to Vancouver. I think I got really down on myself. Like I wasn't booking, I wasn't being seen, and I got more and more depressed. And I think like I had to find ways to pull myself out of that and just be happy with where I am and who I am. And this is me and this is what I am. And if you don't want that part of your project, then move on and be happy. I think in terms of like acting, it's not as glorious as people think either. Like it's a lot of on set, it's a lot of sit, wait, hurry up, go, 5 minutes on set. Okay, you have one take. Okay, thank you, it was great, see you tomorrow. And you're like, oh, I was just on set for 16 hours and I sat for 14 hours and I shot. So it's not the most glorious profession. And you come to realize that actors are like 5% on a set. There's so many factors that, like crew and directors and producers and everybody behind the scenes doing work. And yeah,
I have Andrea, can I just add something, because this is important for people watching, because it happened to me, not to take things personal. So I auditioned for something and I thought I nailed it. You know, when you're just confident and, you know, I mean, you can only do your best. We always come out of an audition room, oh, I should have did this, I should have did that. I actually was very confident, and that's very hard for me because I'm always super critical with my stuff. And I thought I did really, really good. I had a good feeling. So I didn't get cast. A year later, I was at an after party and I met the director, this female. And we just so happened to be at the same bar having a drink. What are the odds? I said, hey, I auditioned for you. So, you know, we're having a little bit of fun, and, you know, alcohol does a lot. So I opened up a little bit. I had the courage to say, I got to ask you something. Why did I get cast? I thought I did so well. Like, just honestly, what happened? What could I have done better? She looks at me and she said, honestly, you did amazing. And to this day, I'm still fighting with the crew. The reason why I didn't cast you, you reminded me of my ex-husband. Could you imagine? She said it straight. I could not. She goes, I could not work with you. I would have told me crazy. She goes, but you did an awesome job. So I'm like, all right, I'll take it. So it necessarily doesn't mean you did a bad job. Sometimes, hey, the director.
Can I tell you a story about that, actually relating to that, about going into a room and like killing it and then not getting a job? I auditioned for a show in Vancouver at least 15 times. Same show, different characters. Finally, there came a role where they were like, you know what? I'm just going to submit Sam's tape because I know she's an amazing actress. I just want to give her an opportunity. And this casting director believed in me and gave me that opportunity. And then I ended up booking that show. But I auditioned at least 50 times for many different roles before even, you know, sometimes it just takes that one. That's why you got to go in the room, kill it every time, do a good job, know your lines, do your work, don't take it for granted. You go in, you keep killing it. And at one point, someone's going to be like, you know what? I'm going to give you a chance. And that's what happens. Or sometimes you look like the ex-husband. Or
yeah, thanks, man. Then I'm thinking about it, but you know what? At least it was a positive thing because you know what? It's not like I didn't get the job because I did a bad audition. So I was happy for her. She said, just
she might cast you in the future for something.
And, you know, she bought me a drink. It was all good. And then, you know, the rest is history. But yeah, so Andrea, tell everyone and talk to Samantha, get her feel for why is this so important to develop this platform, this platform for actors in this community, because I think it's very important that we need to do this.
I think in listening to both your stories, I think the main thing is perseverance, right? So it's to continue to keep pushing and dedicate yourself and commit yourself. And like you said, Samantha, it's not glamorous, right? So people, unfortunately, that's what draws your attention is the glitz and the glamour and the good stuff, right? No, it's hard for people to understand what's involved if your only experience of being an actor is watching others in movies, right? And then you're obviously disillusioned with, oh, look, it must be beautiful. Look at that movie. It's so great, right? They must have had so much fun making it. Meanwhile, there's so much tension on set sometimes and friction, and people don't necessarily get along. And that, as long as people are professional and kind of, well, I don't know on big sets if egos get checked at the door, but I think in most cases, what we're trying to get across is to kind of check your ego at the door, come into the actor's garage and open up, kind of be yourself, have fun, and work on your craft. And that's what we want. And that's what's so great about somebody like yourself, you know, being you're like our opening ceremony here, right? You're opening the show, right? So, and it's great to have somebody like yourself give that account of how it was for you. And you know what? Some people are a little bit luckier than others, but that doesn't mean, like you said earlier, that doesn't mean your work isn't good. And Vince and I, we talk about this often, about your successes, your achievements are your achievements. Your failures are your failures. You kind of find yourself in between, right? Like, what do they say? Like, your character is like who you are when no one's watching, right? When people are watching you, and you can put on a show and act like a certain person, but it's when people aren't watching you, and when people don't see you, who are you? What kind of person are you? And that's the kind of thing we want people to show us at the Actors Garage, right? Show us who you are. Be yourself. Work on your craft. Let yourself go. Like, don't worry about, and look, man, I'm the worst. I'm the most insecure person. I don't have any confidence in anything that I do. And if it wasn't for Vince in many cases, I probably wouldn't do as much as I do a lot of times. So he's like a big crutch for that. And I just want to express that to people, that if you're thinking you're insecure and you're not sure about it, you're not the only one. Trust me. We're all there.
I've met in Vancouver some really people that have been in Hollywood and for years, and they came in to do self-tapes, and let me tell you, they were nervous. They are just people like everybody else who has to do an audition, who is feeling insecure. Let me tell you, there's no one in this world that doesn't feel insecure. Even if you think that celebrity has it all, they're nervous. Everybody's nervous. Everybody thinks of they're frauds. Everybody feels like they're not good enough. So know that you're not alone in that. Anybody in any industries, they all face the exact same thing as what you were talking about.
Yeah, you got to go through it. So, Samantha, tell everyone about the Actors Garage. I mean, do you think this is a good idea of what we want to do, and bringing actors together and just like you said, networking? I mean, are you excited to be part of this? Because you are part of this, Samantha.
I'm forced in there.
Once you're in, you can't get out.
Choice. You can't have
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's always great to have a space where actors can come and practice their craft. It's hard. It's scary. It's scary to put yourself out there and even taking that first step to get into a class of some sort, or
right.
I remember it. It's scary. So having I think that's so important, is you have to surround yourself with people that are support systems that encourage you. Sometimes you don't get encouragement from your friends or family, or you're on your own, and so you have to like find your tribe, almost find your people that will support your craft and your dreams. And I feel like the Actors Garage is a place that people can come and feel safe to explore, like Andrea was saying, what's behind the text, but also explore who they are. I think that's the most important thing about acting, is I don't want to watch you play a character. I want to watch you be that person on screen. That's why you see like someone like Meryl Streep is always Meryl Streep in all these characters. She's not playing these characters. She's her if she was that person. And you want to bring your authentic self to the character. So I think that would be like the Garage would be a great way to explore that in a safe way.
Awesome. Well, Samantha, I think we're super excited to have you, part of this. And Andrea and I are by no means thinking at all that we know any better than anybody else. We are here to learn from an actor that's been on set once and from an actor that's been on set 1,000 times, because every experience is a different experience, union actors, non-union actors, no judgment, check your ego at the door. Definitely attitude is everything. So it isn't for everyone. We don't want to have anyone, thinking they know it all just because, oh, I did 5 extra commercials. What have you done? Does not make you a great actor.
No,
right?
and I think comparison games don't compare. Everybody's journey is different.
Absolutely. Just to tell everyone a little bit on how life works in very weird ways. So Andrea and I have always been great friends in high school. Life got in the way. We were always into acting. I kind of just kept dabbling in and taking chances and writing some stuff. And I had this script in mind to produce and film. And Andrea, what happened? We ran into each other at a bar. It was some kind of high school reunion. Our cousins set up, and only 3 of us showed up out of everyone. And Andrea sees me with this beard. He's like, dude, what's going on? What is this beard? What the heck, right? And then I told him about the idea. And as I told him about the idea, he quickly came on board, and he ended up directing a short film, actually a feature film, that we finished 2 years ago called Jack's Chair. And, we reunited again, and we never looked back since. It was as though 10 years just, like yesterday. So it's like you were saying, Samantha, it's important to just keep doing what you're doing, because if I hadn't done that, then we probably wouldn't be on this call. I would have been probably doing something else. Andrea would have been doing whatever, and you would have been probably in LA. Maybe not. Yes. So it is important to keep doing what we got to do. You know what I mean? Andrea, what do you think?
I agree, man. And that was definitely something where if you believe in fate or
Mhm.
something being planned without, that makes you wonder sometimes, right? So
Mhm.
it was definitely I'm definitely glad it happened. Um, and we're just hoping to continue. But yeah, that was definitely surreal how it all happened. And
Mhm.
it's odd that we're sitting here right now doing this, but
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
and I do remember you coming out to audition for Jack's chair. I remember that. I'm
Yeah.
not sure
Yes, Samantha.
if you remember.
Yeah, that was fun.
So that was actually the first time I ever met you. Yeah, that was pretty.
Oh, it was not, let me tell you, that was probably not one of my best moments,
Mhm.
auditions, but
Oh no, I didn't bring it up for that reason. Oh God, please. No, I was
no,
just.
but that's talking about it. Like sometimes you're not in the right place and you're just like,
Mhm.
that's why I was leaving to Vancouver. It just, that's what
Yeah,
happened.
that's the thing. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's where it all remembered. That's pretty crazy. But it's funny how it comes full circle. Now we're here, right? So
Yeah,
I think
Exactly.
that means we have to make a film together or something, right? So
That's what it means.
absolutely.
isn't that the obvious thing? Isn't that
That's why you called me. You're like, let's make
Exactly. So the real truth is, this has all been an audition, Sam. All been an audition.
yes.
you got the part?
We're gonna cut to the chase. You got the part.
Oh my
We
gosh.
start filming, and we don't know
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We don't know when we can leave our house.
Easiest.
But kind of, I wanted to ask you one more thing, Samantha, because you've
Yeah.
had so much experience, and I'm sure you've participated in other workshops and things of that nature. What maybe could you offer us in terms of your opinion or idea that what would you like to see maybe different
I like that.
in the actor's garage that maybe you haven't seen somewhere else, and that you could say, hey guys, this might be something people would respond to. Like, I know that maybe off the top of your head it might not be so easy, but take a moment to think about it. But I was wondering, what would you like to see that you haven't seen?
I mean, I've seen a lot. There's a lot of people are getting creative out there. I think I just want to see like a space that might be like a multi-purpose space, because a lot of the spaces I've encountered are just specific, like we're just improv or we're just on camera. Maybe a space that encompasses like a little bit of self-tape, a little bit of theater, a little bit of on camera, so you could practice whatever kind of craft you want to do. Um, yeah, just an
Awesome.
all in one stop shop.
That's interesting.
And if there were coffee available,
On my notes,
Oh, and an espresso machine.
without a doubt, Andrea and I do not work without espresso.
I want Lavazza beans. I want.
Ah, I don't
Yeah.
know. That's a little premium.
Yeah. That's definitely a premium. Definitely a premium.
Only the best.
Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
I
So,
appreciate that. I appreciate your answer. Appreciate your time so much, because I know we're all at home and people are like, "Oh, what are you doing anyway?" But your time is your time, so it's much appreciated. Thank you.
exactly. So, I just want to tell everyone, and then I'll let Samantha say a couple of words if she wants to close it up. This is definitely an open platform that we just want to all actors, especially, the actors that want to get into the industry, but they're so afraid, they have no idea. Because this is important for me to say this, because I had to go through that, and I had to go through a lot of bumps like everybody else in order to learn. So now if a new actor has no idea where to start and where to get headshots, agents, how to get into the industry, this is a perfect space for you as well, because first of all, it's complimentary. You get to come and then you just sit in and see what's happening and talk to an actor like Samantha and say, Samantha, so what do I do? What's the first step? Do I take a class? Do I start doing my own stuff? And then I'm sure Samantha, as beautiful and nice as you are, would offer your suggestions and your opinions, right? Through your experience. So it's really important. That's what we're trying to do as well. So it's for somebody that wants to get into the industry and someone that's in the industry trying to network. That's why we want to develop this, because I know growing up, it was super hard. I remember, posting these huge envelopes with my headshots and just sending them to all these agencies. And I'm like, my tongue was like, it was killing me. And I'm like, and I ended up calling them and saying, Ma, I don't understand why you're not representing me. Well, sir, you got to first of all stop calling the office and stop giving us your headshots, first of all, because it's annoying. That's what I got. I said, okay, but how do I get into your agency? Well, you need to be union. Okay, how do I become a union actor if you're not giving me an opportunity? Okay, well, how many commercials you do? I did none. I want to get into the business. So it was super hard. I know I went for the top agencies in Toronto, but hey, when you aim high and then when you fall, just kind of crawl your way back up. And it was tough for me. It was tough. I had no representations, which is good because it drove me to start doing my own stuff and taking a chance on my own stuff. So I dabbed into the Italian Canadian community, which allowed me to be a little bit more confident. And then I got to experience how the casting was. So now when I go into an audition, I know what they're looking for because that's what I look for when we cast. So so I guess that was my personal growth as an actor, but I had to go through that. So if you want to get into the industry, this is what it's about as well. And I just want to say my last things, and you guys can close up one quote because you know me, Mr. I have quotes on everything. And I read this in a book and it always stuck to me. Just because you fail at something, it does not make you a failure. I want everybody to understand that. Because if you want to succeed faster than everybody else, double your rate of failure. I'll let that sink in. So Andrea and Samantha, if you want to say anything, I'm pretty much done. I want to thank you guys for being here, and I hope to see you at the Actors Garage.
Samantha, go ahead. Go ahead. I'd like to, again, thanks for your time, and we want to give you this opportunity to sort of kind of have a closing statement or your closing argument.
Oh, I know. I feel like I need a thesis or something. I love what Vince said. You have to fail in this industry. That's how you learn. And failure is just gonna come. Be prepared for it. It will happen, and it's glorious because you'll hit rock bottom like I did, and then everything works out. And it's just it'll happen. It happens to everybody, and I think, yeah. This is such a great idea because, like Vince said, I started out. My mom and my dad were driving me to auditions when I was 15. We had no clue like what was going on because there's no guidance, and so I definitely like the idea of being able to help people figure out how to even start in this industry because I didn't have a guidance. So I've been trying to like figure out as much as I can so I can pay it forward, and that's so important. And remember that like. I just want to say that this isn't a competition. This industry needs more people that are like you two, that are paying it forward. Because, there's already enough bad stuff in the world. But just remember that auditions, you're not competing for the role. You want the other person to get it because that means you're in the room with people that are like following their passion and following their craft. If you don't get it, I hope my best friend gets it. And that's how this industry should be working. Fortunately, it's not always like that, but I think like building communities like this will be able to bring people who have the same mindset together. And I think just bite the bullet and go for it. And we're here. And if you want it, we're here. So yeah, come check us out.
Thanks, Samantha.
Mm-hmm.
That was great. What you just said was awesome. That was beautiful, for real. That was a great thing to say about, like, if you don't get it, a lot of people would not have that attitude. The people would automatically think it's a competition, right? Like survival of the fittest. That was a really good thing that you said, because that's exactly the vibe we want to put out there. So I appreciate you saying that, and we appreciate your time, and we hope that we can unite and soon and get some work done, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So Samantha, do you have at this moment, do you have a website or anything you want to tell everybody to check you out, an Instagram page? I mean, it's at your disclosure, of course. We're here to help. So if there's
Yes, I would. Thank you.
Any products, if you're selling any products, it's okay. We don't endorse anything. We're just trying to help.
Oh, come on. I should have just, no. No website. It used to, but I got rid of that. I mean, you can always check me out on my Instagram, Samantha Spatari, or my IMDb, which is my name again. I'm just up there. I have some videos up on YouTube of some things I've shot. I don't know. If you just look me up, I'm all over the internet. It's pretty.
Awesome.
pretty simple. But yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys taking the time to like organize this and reach out to me. And yeah. And if anybody has questions, you can always, I don't know, message Vince or Andrea or me, or
Absolutely.
we'll
We're
answer.
We're going to start this, that we're going to have an open portal where, you know, we can try to help people through, you know, messaging and responding to them online. We're figuring all this out. It is fairly new. We have, we don't say things that are not true or some big, you know, website that we have. No, this is starting from ground zero. And, you know, this is what it is. We're real. That's why we decided to call This Is Real TV. This is who we are. There's no hidden agendas, nothing superficial. So the website is under development, and we're going to have all that set up where, you know, it make it easy for people to get in touch with us and answer any of their questions. All right. I think we're good. I think that's a wrap. That's a wrap. Don't you love hearing that? That's a wrap.
I love it. Love it. Go home. Cut.
And, what's the final thing when they finish the scene, Samantha, in the film? Check the gate.
Oh no, yeah. What is it? Check
Right?
the gate for hair? Yeah.
Right?
You should also bring back film. We'll work on that.
Oh, that's another topic for discussion.
Yes.
Film versus digital, yeah.
Yeah, we should get into the technical side of stuff. So yeah, that's a whole other topic.
That's another topic, which we'll definitely get into that for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Once again, thank you, Samantha Spatari, for being here. It was a pleasure. The pleasure was all ours for you being here, and we wish you all the best and many more roles coming your way, because you're beautifully talented. You have a great spirit, a great soul, an infectious smile, and that goes a long way. You know what I mean? Your attitude definitely shines when you're speaking. And you seem like a very sincere person. I know you are, because I've worked with you, so I could vouch for you. And yeah, hire Samantha. But first you gotta do a film with us. First you gotta. But we will work on a film together. That's the other thing. So imagine coming to the Actors Garage, and now, you know, we work with a bunch of actors that there's no need to cast because everybody's in front of you. That's the other thing. So
you got a director, you have a writer, you have producer. We a bunch of us edit. Like there's just there's equipment. So yeah, it's could be some room for some magic.
Never know, right? It's always about that idea that sparks an idea to make a film.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. We're good. Andrea, we're good?
Yeah, we're good, man.
Awesome.
We're good. Quiet revolution, baby.
We are This Is Real TV. We do have a website, thisisrealtv.com, spelled REEL as real. So thisisrealtv.com, just to check out some of our work. So, you know, we're, actually doing work. And we're going to see Samantha very, very soon for sure. And I guess that closes our show, guys. Thanks. And keep safe, everyone.
Stay safe.
Until next time.
Bye.